At 84, Connie Smith finally speaks up. About Bill Anderson. Connie Smith was born Connie Joan Ramey on August 14, 1941 in Elkhart, Indiana. She came from a simple start and grew to be one of country music's most loved women singers. People like other singers, critics, and fans of all ages really admired her. Connie's early life had lots of hard times and she had to be strong. She grew up when money was tight and had a tough childhood with poverty and personal problems. Music became her safe place. As a teenager, she learned to play guitar and loved the sounds of old country, gospel, and mountain music. Those things later shaped her special singing voice, clear, strong, and full of real feelings. Even when she was young, Connie had a voice that could show sadness, wishing for things, and power in a very clear way. Her life changed a lot in the early 1960s when she moved to Ohio and joined a local band. During one show, Bill Anderson, one of country music's top songwriters, discovered her. He heard how special her voice was and helped her get a record deal with RCA Victor. That teamwork started one of the biggest first hits in country music history. In 1964, Connie Smith put out her first single, called Once a Day. The song became super popular right away. It hit #1 on the Billboard Country chart and stayed there for 8 weeks straight, a record for a woman country singer back then. The song's big win made Connie a new star and showed her special style, a high, emotional voice with classic country music sounds. After that came 10 years of huge success. Through the 1960s and 1970s, Connie Smith had more than 70 songs on the country charts. Some famous ones were Then and Only Then, Ain't Had No Loving, I Never Once Stopped Loving You, and the Huttons All Over. Her songs always showed the heart of real country music, true stories, honesty, and deep feelings. At a time when country started mixing more with pop sounds, Connie's voice stayed her special mark. Other singers and producers often said her voice was one of the best ever in country music. Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, George Jones, and Merle Haggard all loved her talent a lot. Many called Connie Smith the perfect example of great singing. Her way of showing soft feelings without overdoing it made her songs feel like they were just for you. Even with all her success, Connie's personal life had tough parts too. Dealt with worry, sadness, and the hard parts of being famous. Later she talked about those things openly and kindly. In the late 1970s, when she was really popular, she chose to step away from music to spend time with her family and focus on her faith. That choice was not common then and showed she cared more about what she believed than making money. After being away for several years, Connie Smith came back to music her own way. Her newer albums in the 1990s and 2000s got great reviews and new respect. Albums like Connie Smith, Long Line of Heartaches, and The Cry of the Heart showed an older singer whose voice still had all its feeling power, even if it was a little softer now. The early 2000s, Connie Smith's place in country music was bigger than just hits or awards. It became something deeper and longer-lasting in the country world. In 2002, she got one of her best honors when CMT ranked her 9th on their list of the greatest women in country music. That put her with the most important female singers the style ever had. It proved what fans and other singers always knew. Connie's voice, kindness, and honest feelings helped make the heart of country music. Maybe even sweeter was praise from one of her own heroes, country legend George Jones, who Connie looked up to her whole life, called her his all-time favorite female country singer in his book I Live to Tell It All. Coming from such a big name in Nashville, that meant a lot and was a huge honor. It showed the respect Connie got from the top people in country music. Instead of stopping after those honors, Smith kept following her music and faith. In 2003, she released a Christian album called Love Never Fails. It was a warm team-up with Barbara Fairchild and Sharon White from the group The Whites. The album showed Connie's strong faith and her wish to make music that helps and comforts people. It mixed gospel love with the real honesty always in her singing. Her influence reached new young country stars too. In 2005, Martina McBride recorded a cover of Once a Day for the album Timeless as a tribute to Smith. Putting that song on there showed it was still a classic and proved Connie's big effect on today's country singers who love her style, control, and deep feelings. Connie kept performing as a solo singer. In May 2007, she gave a great show when she sang Sonny James' A World of Our Own at the Country Music Hall of Fame medallion ceremony. That moment celebrated the song and Connie's own special place in country music history. That same year, she also did a sweet duet with her husband on his album Compadres, mixing her music skill with love for her family. In 2012, Connie Smith got one of the biggest honors when she was put into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Everyone agreed it was way past due and cheered for it. Her induction, people praised not just her hits but her strong love for the real heart of country music. Her career was seen as a bridge from old country roots to its changing future. Beyond awards, Connie Smith's real legacy is how she influenced others. So many singers, especially women in country, learned from her singing style, strong voice, and careful feelings. She showed a woman could lead the style with class and power while staying true and real. Connie Smith's personal life had deep loves, hard lessons, and a strong belief in love, faith, and staying true. Over her life, she was married 4 times. Each one showed a different part of her journey, with happy times and hard ones, and showed the strong person behind her fame. Her first marriage was in 1961 to Jerry Smith. He worked as a payroll analyst at the Interlake Iron Corporation in Beverly, Ohio. At that time, Connie was still young and just starting her adult life and career. They had a son named Darren Justin, born on March 9, 1963. Darren later lived a good life. He went to Europe in the late 1970s as a missionary and then became a psychologist. That showed his deep spirit and smart mind. Even with the happiness of having a child, life pressures and changing ways led Connie and Jerry to divorce in the mid-1960s. That ended her first marriage. Not long after, Connie fell in love again in the music world. She married Jack Watkins, a guitar player in her touring band. Their marriage came from sharing shows, long bus rides, and the close feeling musicians get working together. They had a son, but the marriage did not last long. They split within a year. It showed how hard it is to keep a marriage going with constant touring and travel stress. Soon after that, Connie married Marshall Haynes, a phone repairman who became part of her life. In the early 1970s, Haynes often went with her on the road as part of her tour group. They had 3 daughters together. That made Connie a mom of 4 and gave her family a strong base while her career needed a lot of her time. Even though that marriage ended in divorce in the early 1990s, it was one of her longest and most important ones. After that divorce, Connie said out loud she would never marry again. She thought that part of life was done. But life had other ideas. On July 8, 1997, she surprised people by marrying for the fourth time to country singer and producer Marty Stuart. Marty started producing Connie's music after writing songs for her 1998 comeback album that brought her career back and also made true a promise he had since he was a kid. Marty often told how he first met Connie 26 years earlier when he was only 12. He saw her at a concert at a fair on an Indian reservation near his hometown of Philadelphia, Mississippi. "I met Connie when I was 12 years old," he said. "She hasn't changed a bit. Looked great then and she looks great now." Amazingly, young Marty even told his mom back then that he would marry Connie Smith one day. That childhood wish came true. Looking at how strong and long their marriage is, Connie says faith keeps it going. She talks openly about how important spiritual roots are. Explains simply but deeply how they keep their relationship strong. Make the Lord the center and commit. Those words hold wisdom from a lifetime of love, loss, hope, and new starts. Shows that even after hard times in love, new beginnings can always happen. At 84 years old, Connie Smith is at a time in life where thinking back feels natural, and being honest feels right. She has always let her songs do most of the talking. But when it comes to Bill Anderson, the famous songwriter, singer, and big part of her life, she now feels ready to talk. With years of wisdom, Connie Smith finally shares about the man who helped build her career, her confidence, and how she understood the music world. "Bill Anderson came into my life when I didn't even know what was happening to me," Smith said. "I was just a girl from Ohio who could sing, and suddenly I was pulled into this big world I never imagined." Bill was not just in that world, he helped guide her through it. Connie's big break came fast after she signed with RCA Victor in the mid-1960s. Bill Anderson played a big part in that success. He was already a known songwriter and singer. He saw something special in Connie's voice, an honest feeling that went right to the heart. He knew how to listen, she said, not just to my voice but to who I was. He understood I wasn't a showy singer. I was a storyteller. Their work together became a huge part of Connie's career. Anderson wrote some of her best-loved songs, including the famous Once a Day that became a giant hit and helped make her place in country history. Bill had this way of writing that felt like he was reading my diary. Smith said, "I don't know how else to explain it. He wrote songs that fit me so perfectly. It was almost scary." But Connie is careful to say their relationship was based on real respect, not big stories. "People always want to make things more dramatic than they were," she said kindly. "Bill was a mentor, a partner in music, and a friend. He pushed me to get better musically but respected my limits. That meant more to me than people know." As a young woman in a mostly male business, Connie says Bill's help gave her stability. "He didn't talk down to me," she said. "He didn't try to change me into something I wasn't. He believed being real mattered more than being perfect, and that gave me confidence in myself." Over time their paths went together and apart as both kept growing. Anderson kept writing and singing while Connie balanced music with family and took breaks from the spotlight. Through everything, her thanks for Anderson grew deeper. "When you get older, you see who really mattered," she said. "Bill mattered not for fame or success, but for how he treated people. Now looking back at 84, Connie speaks clearly with thanks, not just old memories. I don't live in the past, she explained, but I honor it and honor the people who helped me get through it with my dignity. Safe. She stops a second, then adds, Bill Anderson helped give me a voice, not just on records, but as a person. For that, I'll always be thankful. In a business often full of short team-ups and hidden bad feelings, Connie Smith's words stand out for their kindness. Her thoughts about Bill Anderson are not shocking, they are very real. They show thanks for his help, kindness, and shared music. At 84, Connie Smith is not changing history. She's just finally telling it in her own quiet, special way.